The oath has been struck. The die has been cast, and your fate awaits you in the Everglow.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today's build is the Nightingale, a stealthy infiltrator and burglar who seeks Nocturnal's blessing to further their thievery. Let's start by getting to know our hero, Nisha. Nisha was born in Belkarth, a trading hub and notorious beacon for scoundrels and wanderers in the centre of Lower Craglawn. Part of a wealthy merchant family, Nisha grew up surrounded by finery and never wanting for anything. Bored by the trappings of her privileged life, Nisha began entertaining herself by manipulating others, stealing their cherished belongings, and even sabotaging her parents' businesses when they upset her. It wasn't long before Nisha fell amongst the ranks of local outlaws, learning to exploit the shadows and pick locks. Picking pockets, however, was not her forte, and Nisha was caught red-handed. Embarrassed and ashamed, Nisha's parents had her exiled to the dungeons of Elinhir. One day, a raven found its way to her cell, and Nisha decided to give it some crumbs from her bread. The raven returned the following day and dropped a lockpick into Nisha's cell, allowing her to break free. She headed northeast and crossed the border into Skyrim, arriving near Falkreath. She began stealing what she needed to survive, but was again captured, this time by the Empire, and sent to Helgen for her execution. For character creation, I chose a Redguard, since that is the race Nocturnal is assigned in the game files. I started with preset 5, using a red skin tone and higher weight. I didn't give her any war paint or scars, and left most of the face settings default, except for adding some cheek colour. I changed the eye shape and colour, as well as their height and depth, and gave her some eyeliner and eyeshadow. The brows were changed and brought forward, while the mouth type was also changed, and some lip colour was added. Finally, I gave her some shorter hair, and made it the darkest shade of brown. Let's go through the spells and equipment I used for the run. I only used spells from the School of Illusion, focusing on stealth and aggravation. I used Fury and Frenzy to weaken groups of enemies, or create a distraction so I could sneak by. Ideally, I would Frenzy the strongest enemy and have them fight the rest of the group, thus thinning the herd and simultaneously weakening them. Fear and Rout could be used defensively when I wasn't interested in fighting an opponent, or offensively to prevent a powerful opponent from fighting back while I finished them off. Muffle, of course, made sneaking much easier, and invisibility was useful during daylight or in well-lit spaces, as well as for making a quick escape. For my equipment, I of course started with the base set of Thieves Guild armor. I then prioritised obtaining Linway's armor set, so that I could use his hood, gloves, and boots. While Linway's equipment was better suited for combat, I kept the Thieves Guild items to use for bartering and lockpicking. Once I received the Nightingale armor set, this became my sole set of apparel. I only used the Ring of Massa, since it fortifies illusion, sneak, and stamina, but changed necklaces based on the situation. Fortify Magicka was useful until I had a large enough pool, otherwise I mostly used Fortify one-handed. Fortify barter and fortify lockpicking were also useful in those specific circumstances. For weapons, I chose to dual wield a sword and dagger, using the best combination I could find until I obtained the Nightingale blade and an ebony dagger. I also used the best bow I could find, ending with the Nightingale bow and ebony arrows. At the end of the run, Nisha had made it to level 38. She finished with 290 magicka, 200 health, and 180 stamina. I alternated magicka and health until they both reached 200, then alternated magicka and stamina after that. Illusion reached 100, but all of Nisha's other mage skills remained at their base values. Archery was her highest warrior skill at 64, followed by one-handed at 52. I was awarded an extra level in two-handed, but the rest of the warrior skills were unchanged. Sneak and lockpicking both reached 100, while speech got to 77, and light armor to 32. Nisha only gained one level in pickpocket, and no levels in alchemy. For perk selection, I took every illusion perk except for Master Illusion. This not only reduced the cost of all Nisha's illusions, it also made them as potent as possible, and silent to cast. For one-handed, I took 2 levels of Armsman for some added damage, along with both levels of Jewel Flurry and Fighting Stance to get in more hits. I took 2 levels of Overdraw for Archery, but any perks along the left branch would be a good investment. For light armor, I took 1 level of Agile Defender, and the custom fit perk to add to the Nightingale Armor's full set bonus. For sneak, I took the first level of stealth, then everything on the left side up to silence. I didn't take the sneak damage perks because I wanted this character to play much more like a thief than an assassin or stealth archer. With lockpicking, I took all of the perks on the main branch to make picking locks a bit easier, as well as the quick hands perk to avoid having to sneak while doing it, and the golden touch and treasure hunter perks for some added loot. Finally, for speech I took the first of the haggling perks, as well as allure and merchant to make offloading goods a bit easier. As always, I have listed the order in which I took the perks in the video description. Now let's get into the playthrough.
Who are you?
I can't believe I got caught.
I followed Hadvar
Take a look around. There should be plenty of gear to choose from.
and focused on training lockpicking and sneak.
This is over.
I grabbed some weapons,
That'll teach you to cross me.
then left Helgen
This looks like the way out. I was starting to wonder if we'd ever make it.
to find some loot. Rather than choose between the mage and thief stones, I decided to take the cart to Belkarth and use the lover stone instead.
Well, if you say so.
Then I crossed the map to Riften and did some more lockpicking before talking my way into town.
Want everyone to hear you?
After meeting Brynjolf,
Wealth is my business. Maybe you'd like a taste.
and auditioning for the guild, I bought Fear, Fury, and Muffle from Wylandria, and used them to help clear a path through the Ratway. Having again proven myself to Brynjolf,
Best lass. I wasn't certain I'd ever see you again.
I
Here,
proceeded to
take it,
shake
Roland.
down the
I
local
hope you choke on
shopkeepers
Take this back to Brynjolf and tell him he'll have no more trouble from me.
Oh, and look, I even have the payment I owed.
while also doing a few persuasion checks to level
Good.
speech,
So what do you want to know? Oh yeah, I think so too. You're pretty smart.
and taking the job from Latrush.
Sibby. Get him to tell you where Frost and his lineage papers are and bring them to me outside Riften.
Once I'd been made a full member of the guild,
So don't disappoint me.
Get out of my face.
and met the rest of the crew,
And we can both come out of this smelling like a rose.
And while you're at it, make a little bit of coin on the side. Here's your armor. Just make sure you put it to good use.
I stocked up on lockpicks and looked for some extra work in Windhelm. I made my way to
My
Riften
mistake.
Jail,
Sorry, you can go on ahead.
where I picked all the locks and put some pressure on
Take
Sibby.
advantage of the guy in jail.
After
I
taking
need
the
someone
delivery
to
from
take this
Romlin,
small keg of Blackbriar mead to Wilhelm at the Villimer Inn in Arverstead.
I discovered Wujita's skooma supplier
I get my skooma from Sartha's Idrin.
before breaking into Blackbriar Lodge and stealing the papers.
Rather die.
Whilst here, I also had some fun with the mercenaries
We are routed. Fall back.
I guess I was just hearing things.
and collected the first stone of Baron Zaya,
What is this?
before stealing Frost
You're
and
playing a
double-crossing the
dangerous
Trush.
game, my friend. Fine, you win. Take the horse and leave.
Back in Riften, I paid a visit to the orphanage
Help! Murder!
and collected the second stone from the keep before starting the quest for the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. After doing what I could in Riften, I made a quick trip to Iverstead, where I delivered the mead
I hope you'll find this suitable.
and did a couple of speech checks with Linley.
Where I am. He'll kill me.
On the way back, I cleared out Falda's tooth
Guess it's all clear now.
and dealt with some hired thugs
You've done me a
before
great
reporting back
service,
to
my
Sibby.
friend. Allow me
Stupid
to
dog.
compensate you for the information.
Next, I was off to Windhelm to complete some side jobs and collect the stones from the Shatter Shields and Wunferth. After comforting young Aventus,
Really? This is the best news I've ever gotten.
I talked to Torbjorn for the Argonians
Fine, you win. I'll pay the Argonians more coin.
and spent some time at the inn to start the missing merchant quest. I had the bandits tear each other apart, then enlisted the help of some nearby ice wraiths, but had to finish off the bandits myself,
Just stand still!
before I could collect the Ring of Massa. Back in town, I brought Stans in Shallows his skooma, and returned Viola's ring for Revan,
Prophecy always guides you to fortune.
so I could get some speech training. I offered to help
Shavi would be in
Shavi
your debt, kind one.
and practice more
Nor should
persuasion
be so proud to turn down a kind soul's generosity.
No, I guess not. Well, get out of here before I change my mind.
while on my way to frenzying the bandits. And recovering her amulet. After more speech training,
Just
I
take
retrieved
this
Helga's
damn
marks of
thing. Never
Dibella,
want to see it again.
What? How? Where did you get these?
and completed more work in Windhelm, stopping by Stony Creek Cave to collect another stone.
Well,
I took the
like
special
I
job
told
from
Del, I
Torsten
think we can help each other. You recover what I'm looking for, and take out a rival guild in the process.
and
Now,
pressured
just a
Naranya
moment.
for information,
Let's think about this, discuss it like two rational people.
then convinced Linway to disband the Somerset Shadows, and made sure he'd never return. I took the locket and Linway's gear, then burned the banner
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
and completed the job.
Been an adventurer like you instead of a farmer.
After sneaking into Anselvund, and upsetting the mages, I stole Lua's key and her stone of Baron Zaya. I then made my way to Golden Glow Estate and caused trouble for the mercenaries before burning the beehives and stealing the statue. Once I'd cleared out Arangoth's safe, I sold the statue to Delvin
looking for this little beauty.
and started taking jobs in Whiterun. Next, I delivered the documents to Brynjolf
Instead of this odd symbol. Any idea what that might be?
and met with Maven
Brynjolf sent me someone with business sense.
before taking the long way to Whiterun
I can tell you aren't worth the trouble.
so I could work on my persuasiveness.
Yes, you're right.
After completing some work, I collected the stones from the Hall of the Dead, your Vaska,
Leave that to me.
and Balgroof's bedroom, where I also practiced lockpicking.
It's
I
all
then
in
spoke
this
to
note.
Preventus to start the In the Shadows quest, which involved reading a bunch of notes before clearing out Silent Moon's camp with the aid of some nearby mammoths.
You have my thanks.
After reading the Assassin's Journal, I swung by Ranvig's Fast for some lockpicking and another stone of Baron Zaya. I then made a quick stop in
Cannot deny
Rorikstead
the truth of what you say.
before taking care of the assassin in Dragon's Reach and claiming Nocturnal's Bow of Shadows. Once I'd taken care of business in Whiterun, I met with Malice
Someone like you to get in there and get it done.
and strong-armed
Okay.
Sabjorn
No need to make rash decisions.
before cleaning up the pest problem and spicing up the mead. With Sabjorn out of the way, I could grab his note and the Hunting Brew decanter, which I immediately sold to Delvin.
looking for this little beauty.
Then it was back to Whiterun for the Influence quest,
I would have hired a local thug instead of a professional.
I guess that means you're finished. Here's your payment.
Before returning to Maven
Starting a war with me.
and setting my sights on Solitude.
East Empire Company in Solitude.
After getting myself kidnapped by Astrid,
You understand that.
I learned what I could about the other captives,
Children and no husband. I don't have the time or the patience to be nice.
then killed them all,
Is that all?
before swimming over to Solitude. After doing a few persuasion checks,
Time and place to let her know. Fine. You sound like a priest of Mara, but I get your point.
I retrieved Nosta's helmet, along with another stone of Baron Zaya, and continued my quest for the Grey Cow, pickpocketing the deed from Gisli.
Oh, no, you don't.
This can't be happening.
Get him. Kill him. By order of the yard. Stop right there. You need to leave. All right, but you just watch yourself. Next time, I might not be so lenient. You need to leave.
And receiving the final set of instructions. I next made contact with Gulamai.
Did you say Golden Glow Estate? My apologies.
And spoke to Folk in the Blue Palace,
I was planning to let that go.
while grabbing the Firebrand wine and Elisif's stone. I tailed Gullum through the East Empire warehouse and collected the shipping map, but the bandits seemed preoccupied, so I got what I needed from the Argonian
Where she was going, she just muttered, where the end began.
and headed to Wolf Skull Cave. If you interrupt the ritual from the entrance, the Draugr will finish off the necromancers for you, and you can return a hero.
Service to the realm than you could possibly know.
Elisif asked me for a favor,
A war horn handed down from his father, and place it at a shrine of Talos.
so I dropped off Torig's horn, and since I was in the area, I stopped by Felglow Keep to collect another stone. After returning to Elisif,
Right to purchase property and take the next step to becoming a Thane.
I was able to purchase Proudspire Manor
Here's the key to your new home.
and obtain my next stone from the player home. Once I'd sold the map to Delvin,
I was looking for this little beauty.
and completed the Solitude jobs, I met with Erica for something special
Involves Footlocker. I'll take care of the rest.
and stole Sabine's Balmora Blue. While dropping it off in the Dainty Slode, I also stole the Captain's Stone before reporting back to
Pay
Erica.
my compliments to Delvin for me.
Back at the guild, I brought word to Mercer
Haven't heard that name in decades.
before upgrading my hood
There you go.
and getting quests from Tanilia
And I bet my last septim he'll make a deal.
My
and
client
Vekkel.
is offering quite a reward for them, which I'd split with you.
I thought it was
However,
about time I
if you
reported
take
on the
care of
skooma
this
situation,
You might be able to surprise him without warning.
so I sniped Sarthis and started a riot in the cavern to bring down the Butcher. While I was out, I made a deal with
I
Resard
could smell it on you. I am pleased with this offer and accept.
before
Good job.
returning to Tanilia
Let me give you something for all the legwork.
and earning myself a home in Riften.
Honored to see you again, my Thane.
I rendezvous with Mercer outside Snowvale's sanctum,
Good. We're finally here.
and listened to his pep talk,
Blundering into a trap and warning her that we're here.
then snuck through the sanctum while Mercer blundered around.
Are you joking?
After carefully collecting the ship model, I waited for Mercer to finish with the Draugr
What are we waiting for?
before coming between old enemies and adding injury to insult. I thanked Carlisle
Thank you.
and learned of the Nightingale, then spoke to Enthir,
Selmo may have the materials you need to get this journal translated.
settled Ranmir's tab,
What would my forefathers think if they knew I wasn't paying my debts?
and retrieved the staff of Arcane Authority for Malar Seloth. I then joined the college
Well done indeed. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college.
and bought Frenzy from Drevis, before helping with Tolfdir's lesson and heading over to Sarthal. I only fought when I had to, and defeated Jirik with the power of stealth archery.
You skulk and sneak like a reekling.
Next, I grabbed another stone from Hobbs Fall Cave. Then I gathered Arundel's journals for Vekkel, and collected the stone from Ingvild, before swinging by Silverdrift Lair, and retrieving the ancestral sword of Clan Iceblade. Then I returned to the college,
I trust that you wouldn't be here were it not significant.
so I could steal Savos' stone, do some illusion training with Drevis, and buy invisibility and route. I convinced Enthir to return Onmin's amulet,
Don't want it being known that I go back on my trades, understand?
then met with the Grey Fox to claim Nocturnal's Grey Cow.
To speak of this again to anyone.
After delivering the journals to Vekkel
Hadn't forgotten about it.
and the ship to Delvin,
I was looking for this little beauty.
I got some work in Markarth and kept Margaret alive for later.
I die for my people.
I helped out Onward,
You sound like a damn Legion officer, but I get it. I'll give him a break.
then did some thieving, and took Thonar's stone. I got a tip from Degain, then stole the statue of Debella, and dropped it off
Nicely done.
Just tell me if you need something.
before returning to the temple for the Heart of Debella quest.
Your transgression will be forgiven.
In Carthwayston, I sided with
They
the
always get what
Silverbloods
they want, somehow. Fine. Tell Atar I'll sell.
before causing dissent in Broken Tower
Must have been nothing.
and stealing their leader's heart.
Looks dead to me.
With Fiotra free,
Untouched by the gods?
I could deliver her to Debella's
You
service
can begin her preparation.
and receive the Agent of Debella effect. After completing the missions in Markarth, I practiced speech on
I
Verilus
suggest the Jarl hire someone to sort this mess out anyway.
and Calcelmo,
Who would I be if I denied a potential student a glimpse of his master's ingenuity?
then trained lockpicking in the Dwemer Museum, and grabbed Calcelmo's stone. I thinned the ranks of the Wizard's Guard, then took the puzzle cube, a copy of Calcelmo's stone, and a leap of faith. After selling the cube,
I was looking for this little beauty,
and training more illusion, I delivered the translator to Enthir,
Inappropriate of me to ask how you obtained this, so I simply won't.
and learned of Mercer's treachery.
Mentions his strong belief that Mercer desecrated something known as the Twilight Sepulchre.
Carlia gave me some more lore,
To Nocturnal. It's what the Nightingales are sworn to protect with their lives.
and Gallus's blade.
But given the circumstances, I think he'd approve.
Then I returned to Markarth for the special job
Taken to the bandits' hideout, a small cottage called Pinebush.
before sneaking up to Dead Crone Rock to grab another stone. Hag Ravens are apparently kin to Nocturnal, so I decided not to treat them. I next rode down to Falkreath and did a quick speech check on
Man to
Lod,
demand something up front for his work.
then paid a visit to Astrid and took another stone. Over in Pinewatch, I kept the bandits busy, while I retrieved Endon's silver molds and their stone of Baron's Ire. After finishing my illusion training, I then stopped by Sunderstone Gorge and found the final stone before taking the leap at Bard's Leap Summit and returning the molds to Endon.
Thieves Guild is back on its feet in our city and earned every bit of your reward.
I also got involved in the Forsworn
All
conspiracy,
I've been able to find is murder and blood. I need help.
entirely for the purpose of leveling speech,
Fine. I did notice something odd the last time we handed out the pay.
Trust is hard to come by here.
Oh, I'm sorry to keep you.
Getting the shakes, huh?
Fine. Go on in.
siding with Madanach in the end.
I'll kill you where you stand.
Back in Riften,
Glad you're here. I think some of these people are beginning to suspect who I am.
I brought Carlia before the guild
Or I'll cut you down where you stand.
and revealed Mercer's treachery.
Right, the 8. It's gone. Everything's gone. Get in here, all of you.
Just
After
find
getting
a
the
way,
go from Brynjolf,
get the information and leave. And you have permission to kill anyone that stands in your way.
I lured Volg to his death,
Cut him down.
Must have scared you.
then broke into Riftweald Manor, retrieving Chillrend, Mercer's plans, and the bust of the Grey Fox. I brought the bust to
I
Delvin
was looking for this little beauty.
and the plans to Brynjolf,
He's going after the eyes of the farmer? That was Gallus's pet project.
then agreed on Mercer's fate,
He betrayed the guild, murdered Gallus, and made us question our future.
and took Carlia's
That's
counsel.
why we need to prepare ourselves and meet Mercer on equal footing.
Next, I brought the unusual gem to Vex,
What you've got there is a stone of Baron's Ire.
and revealed that I already had all 24.
First person to set eyes on all 24 of them in, well, the last 2 eras.
After she revealed the location of Baron's Eye's crown,
Bald's Cave. Dropped by a Dunmer caravan leaving Morrowind long ago.
the snuck through Torvald's cave, collected the crown, and delivered it all to Vex for the Prowler's buffet effect.
Hope you put it to good use. I know I have.
I then met Carlia outside Nightingale Hall,
cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind,
where I received the Nightingale Armor.
Excellent.
And heard Nocturnal's terms.
Become a Nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
After meeting Nocturnal,
I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Very
and transacting the oath,
I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same Carlisle.
I made my way to Erkenthand and caused a frenzy amongst the Falmer. Once I'd tracked down Mercer,
You learn you can't get the drop on me.
I used fear to stop him attacking me, then brought him down by dual-wielding Chillrend.
Die, damn you!
And recovered the skeleton key and the eyes of the Falmer. After taking a quick dip,
lovely,
Carlia gave me the Nightingale bow,
and has never let me down.
and I gave Delvin one of the eyes,
looking for this little beauty.
before making my way to the Twilight Sepulchre and meeting Gallus's spirit.
Someone in our, well, in your line of work.
I followed the Pilgrim's Path and unlocked the Ebonmere, to return the Lady of Shadows to our realm,
What do we have here?
electing to become the Agent of Subterfuge.
This agent can manipulate others into fighting for the Nightingale for a limited time.
With Nocturnal's influence restored,
I am yours, mistress.
I reported back to Brynjolf
After all those years of helplessly watching the guild decline.
and accepted leadership of the Thieves Guild.
So all I can do now is name you Guildmaster. I wish you good fortune and long life.
Along with all of its privileges. I then set about spreading Nocturnal's influence,
It's our time now.
starting by ensuring her rival Meridia remained in the dark,
Nah, I don't think so.
and slaying Silas to keep the Mythic Dawn a thing of the past. Azura is another of Nocturnal's rivals,
But Azura's signs are never wrong.
so once I'd recovered the Broken Star, I brought it to Nelakar
Star off from Azura. Only black souls would be able to enter it once we finished.
and cleansed it of Malin, to completely cut it off from Azura.
And Malin's soul finally has some measure of peace, even if it is non-existent.
Once you're done leveling your skills, you could switch to the Steed Stone to make your armor weightless and give you more carrying capacity, the Shadow Stone for additional invisibility, or the Tower Stone for free lockpicking. I met up with Jari Ra in Solitude
Very alike. So why not take the next step? We can help each other.
and went along with his little scheme so that I could uncover the hideout of the Black Blood Marauders and put them out of business.
Now I'm going to have to kill you.
I also spoke to Azadi in Shaw's
Talk me into
Stone.
it. Thank you. Here, this is for you.
And talked my way through the interception quest.
How can I argue with that?
Let's both get on with our lives now, hmm?
Anyway, it's done. Time to move on.
So I could disrupt the Thalma and free the Remnant agent.
Thanks a lot.
I even went so far as visiting Solstheim
Welcome to Raven.
to help out Delvin's brother Glover,
It's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle. I told him not to head up there. Sounds like the bloody fool got what he deserved.
and spread the guild's influence to Solstheim. Well, that's it for this build. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel, leaves a comment, and likes, hypes, or shares the videos. If you have any comments or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.